Beaches across the globe sometimes become the stage for unbelievable events, from surprising encounters to rare natural occurrences. These are 30 beach moments that would be hard to believe if they had not been caught on camera. It's early morning on November 25th, 2022, and a jogger is running along a peaceful beach in southern India. They spot something massive lying in the sand, several meters away from the water. As they get closer, they realize it's a giant devil ray, one of the ocean's most mysterious deep-sea creatures, completely stranded on the beach. This devil ray was absolutely enormous, and seeing one of these deep-sea dwellers on land is extraordinarily rare. This giant had somehow gotten separated from its pod while swimming in the deep ocean. It lost its way, became disoriented, and ended up beaching itself. On September 30th, 2021, fishermen in Peru experienced something they had never seen before in their entire careers. They made a record-breaking catch of huge red squids, pulling up a staggering 50 of these deep-sea giants in a single day. These are massive creatures that normally live thousands of meters deep in the ocean, in complete darkness, where the pressure would crush a human instantly. For them to suddenly appear near the surface in such large numbers sparked both celebration and serious concern among marine biologists. Days after this incredible fishing event in Peru, something even stranger happened thousands of miles away in Indonesia. Dozens of tiny red squid offspring began washing up on beaches, creating a carpet of small red creatures along the shoreline. Some theories suggest changes in ocean temperature, shifts in food availability, or even underwater seismic activity could be driving these deep-sea creatures toward the surface. Whatever the cause, these incidents are giving scientists valuable data about creatures that are normally impossible to study. Are you impressed by this scene? If you agree, comment the number 4 below and witness the rescue of the ocean's most terrifying creature. This next moment perfectly demonstrates that not all shark encounters end in tragedy. Sometimes, humans get the chance to be the heroes. On October 19, 2012, on a beach in Victoria, Australia, a baby great white shark had somehow gotten trapped in a narrow tidal pool on the beach. The tide had gone out, leaving this young predator stranded in shallow water with no way to escape back to the open ocean. A local man was fishing nearby. He started reeling it in, expecting maybe a decent-sized fish. But what came out of that tidal pool left him absolutely shocked. It was a baby great white shark, one of the ocean's most feared predators, dangling from his fishing line. Now, most people's first instinct might be fear, or maybe they'd see it as an easy trophy catch. But this man was different. He immediately noticed the baby shark was still alive, still fighting, still had a chance. Without hesitation, he carefully removed the hook and carried the young great white back toward the deeper water. In June 2008, the beaches of Phuket, Thailand, became the site of a tragedy. Several dozen false killer whales, members of the dolphin family despite their name, washed up on the beach in a mass beaching event. The timing of this incident was particularly eerie. It happened right after a brutal sea storm had torn through the area. The beaches had been completely empty due to safety warnings, with tourists and locals staying far away from the dangerous surf and high winds. When the storm finally passed and people returned to the beaches, they discovered this devastating scene. Dozens of these magnificent creatures were stranded on the sand, and tragically, it was too late to save most of them. Scientists believe the severe storm disoriented the pod. Mass beaching events like this are one of nature's most puzzling phenomena. Despite decades of research, scientists still don't fully understand why entire pods of whales and dolphins sometimes beach themselves. Seahorses are already strange creatures. They're barely a foot long, they swim upright, and they're incredibly difficult to spot in the wild. But what makes them truly unbelievable is their reproduction process, which is unlike almost any other creature on Earth. On November 3, 2015, they found a pregnant seahorse. Right before their eyes, this seahorse began giving birth. The female deposits her eggs into a special pouch on the male's body, and he fertilizes them internally and carries them until they're ready to hatch. The divers watched in amazement as this male seahorse began having contractions, his body pulsing rhythmically. Then, in an explosion of life, approximately 2,000 tiny baby seahorses burst out of his pouch, creating a cloud of miniature seahorses swirling in the water. It looked like almost magical in its beauty. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to ring the bell, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. It truly helps me out, and you'll enjoy about giant ditch frog. Now we're moving from the ocean to a creature that lives near beaches and coastal areas. This footage was captured at the Durrell Wildlife Conservation Trust in Jersey. A giant ditch frog, also called a mountain chicken frog, was filmed feeding its offspring. In the wild, food is extremely scarce in the frog's natural habitat, so the mother frog lays unfertilized eggs specifically as food for her tadpoles. She's literally creating meals for her babies. But it gets even more fascinating. The mother doesn't just drop the eggs and leave. She actively participates in feeding time, using her powerful hind legs to push tadpoles away after they've eaten, making sure every single baby gets a fair chance to feed. She rotates them, ensuring the entire group survives, not just the strongest or most aggressive ones. This level of parental care is extremely rare in amphibians. This species is now critically endangered, with habitat loss and hunting pushing it to the brink of extinction. In 2010, conservationists made a desperate move to 50 of these frogs to secure breeding facilities, hoping to rebuild the population. Sometimes the ocean gives us moments of pure joy, and this next one will definitely make you smile. In September 2015, researchers had placed underwater cameras off the coast of Hawaii to study marine life behavior. A false killer whale swam directly up to the camera, and in a moment that seemed almost intentional, it opened its mouth wide, revealing rows of teeth and what looked exactly like a huge friendly smile. The timing was perfect, the angle was perfect, and the expression was unmistakably joyful. It looked like this whale was posing for the camera, showing off its pearly whites like a model. An impressive image, isn't it? You'll want to explore more surprising discoveries on the beach in the video I've linked at the top corner of the screen. I've also placed a direct link to it in the pinned comment below this video. And don't forget to come back for the mysterious ferry capsizing story that follows. In 2014, a member of the Coast Guard took a photograph that would spark intense debate and wild theories. The image shows the fin of an absolutely massive shark, far larger than any known great white, cutting through the water. But the context of this photo is what makes it truly chilling. Just minutes before this photo was taken, a horrifying incident had occurred. A ferry carrying over 300 passengers was making a routine trip when something catastrophic happened. The ferry suddenly overturned. The disaster resulted in 4 confirmed deaths, over a dozen injuries, and many passengers went missing, presumably drowned. Rescue operations were immediately launched, and that's when this Coast Guard member spotted and photographed this enormous fin moving through the water, apparently coming from the direction of the overturned ferry. The size of the fin suggested a shark of truly monstrous proportions, leading some to speculate it could be a Megalodon, the prehistoric giant shark that supposedly went extinct millions of years ago. It's wonderful that you're still here, and if this message resonates with you, please type the number 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I'll know how to serve you better. On October 25, 2015, a group of fishermen were working near a beach in Victoria, British Columbia. The weather was perfect, the ocean was relatively calm, and everything seemed routine. Then, in the distance, they noticed something unusual happening in the water. They got closer. They realized they were witnessing one of nature's most intense predator-prey chases. An orca, one of the ocean's apex predators, was hunting a seal. Now, orcas are incredibly intelligent hunters. They don't just catch their prey and eat it immediately. They often play with their food, and what these fishermen witnessed next was absolutely jaw-dropping. The orca positioned itself beneath the seal, and with one powerful thrust of its massive tail, it launched that seal a staggering 80 feet into the air. In May 2021, a family decided to take a vacation to Kotzebue, Alaska. They wanted to experience traditional subsistence ice fishing, a practice that's been part of Alaska Native culture for thousands of years. The family brought their 6-year-old son, Traded Nelson, hoping to teach him about patience, nature, and the satisfaction of catching your own food. Traded pulled and reeled, his little arms straining with effort. Whatever was on the other end of that line was putting up a serious fight. Finally, after what must have felt like an eternity to young Traded, the fish emerged from the hole in the ice, and when they pulled it out completely, the entire family gasped in amazement. The fish was exactly the same height as Traded himself. They measured it immediately. 46 inches long. They weighed it. The fish weighed almost exactly the same as the boy. This wasn't just a good catch. This was a once-in-a-lifetime catch. The kind of fishing story that people tell for generations. The photo of Traded standing next to his catch, both of them the same size, went viral on social media. Off the coast of San Diego, a surfer was catching waves at night when something extraordinary happened. The water around him began to glow with an intense electric blue light. Every movement he made created trails of neon blue luminescence. When his board cut through a wave, the water exploded in glowing blue sparkles. When the wave crashed, it looked like liquid light cascading down. The entire ocean surface was glowing, transforming the nighttime surf session into something that looked like it came straight from a fantasy world. This mesmerizing phenomenon is called bioluminescence, and it's caused by massive concentrations of tiny microorganisms called dinoflagellates. These microscopic creatures have a fascinating defense mechanism. When they're disturbed or agitated by movement, they emit a bright blue glow. On November 24, 2014, a man was walking along a beach in South Africa, probably just enjoying a peaceful stroll, when he spotted something disturbing in the sand. As he got closer, he realized it was a crocodile head. This was massive. The crocodile's head was nearly as large as a human torso. But here's what makes this discovery truly chilling. The head had been completely severed from the body, and the bite marks told a clear story. When marine biologists examined the remains, they identified the bite pattern as consistent with a great white shark, one of the most common and deadly predators found off the coast of South Africa. So what happened here? How did a massive crocodile end up as shark food? Experts pieced together the most likely scenario. This crocodile had been living in a river system, as crocodiles do, but somehow it ventured too far downstream. Maybe it was chasing prey, maybe it was displaced by flooding, or maybe it was simply exploring. A video surfaced a few years ago, showing a man at a beach trying to take a photo of his wife. It's a beautiful day, she's posing, smiling, and he's about to click the picture when they both notice something in the sky. A massive meteor, trailing fire and smoke, is streaking across the sky at incredible speed. It's heading directly toward the CN Tower, one of Toronto's most iconic landmarks. The video cuts off abruptly at that moment, leaving viewers with a million questions. If this really happened, why wasn't it all over the news? Why isn't there more footage? How much damage was done? Were there casualties? What do you think? Does this look real to you? Or is it clearly fake? Drop your opinion in the comments below, because I'm genuinely curious what you all think about this one. Remember earlier when we talked about those fishermen in Peru catching 50 giant red squids? Well, this is the other side of that story, and it's equally bizarre and fascinating. On October 3, 2021, beachgoers in Indonesia arrived at their local beach, expecting a normal day of sun and surf. Instead, they found something that looked like a scene from an alien invasion movie. The beach was absolutely covered with thousands upon thousands of tiny red squids. They were everywhere, carpeting the sand, washing up in waves, creating a moving red blanket along the shoreline. These weren't dead squids. Many of them were still alive, their tentacles moving, their bodies pulsing, desperately trying to get back to deeper water. The locals had never seen anything like this before. Some people tried to help, scooping up squids and throwing them back into the ocean. Others just stood and stared in amazement at this unprecedented event. Children were fascinated, adults were concerned, and everyone was taking photos and videos. Fishermen from Sri Lanka were out doing their regular fishing routine. They cast their nets, waited, and began pulling in their catch. But when they hauled the nets onto their boat, they found something that left them completely baffled. Among the usual fish was a creature unlike anything they had ever seen in their entire careers. This fish had a structure completely different from normal fish species. Instead of the typical streamlined body, this creature was round and flat, almost like a disc. It had only 2 fins on its body, positioned in unusual locations. Its skin texture was strange, its color was odd, and its overall appearance was so bizarre that the fishermen immediately knew they had caught something special. Ocean on fire. A terrifying blaze rose from the ocean like molten lava, making it look as if the end of the world had arrived, or as though it were a scene straight out of a science fiction movie. This stunning video, showing fire burning across the ocean's surface, was recorded a few years ago in Mexico, when an underwater gas pipeline suddenly burst. The rupture sent streams of flames shooting up to the surface, forming a massive circular blaze on the water. Fortunately, thanks to the authorities' swift response, the disaster was brought under control and no lives were lost. Because of the fire's circular shape on the sea surface, many people on the internet called it the Eye of Fire. This sight was both breathtaking and frightening at the same time. A powerful weather event was recorded last October when a huge waterspout was seen spinning just off a beach in Cyprus. Before reaching the shore, it quickly formed into a giant cyclone and kept twirling toward the people on the beach. Fortunately, apart from tossing some sunbeds into the air, the waterspout caused no real harm. For weather experts, it was simply a natural occurrence, but for those watching, it looked like a wild creature racing across the surface of the sea. 2 people visiting the beach filmed this scene after noticing a giant stingray lying on the shore at South Padre Island. The footage, recorded in 2018, shows the enormous stingray giving birth right there on the sand. According to the person who shared the video, they were returning to the beach after a shark fishing trip when they came across the massive stingray, which turned out to be pregnant. A group of whale watchers witnessed an incredible moment when more than a dozen whales suddenly leaped out of the water during a feeding frenzy. On July 24, 2015, while observing a large pod of whales off the coast of Florida, the group was stunned as the whales breached the surface all at once, surfacing just a few feet from their boat. Because the whales had their mouths filled with fish, hundreds of seagulls flocked to the scene hoping to snatch an easy meal, making the spectacle even more remarkable. No matter how difficult the situation gets, an octopus never gives up on survival. On December 20, 2021, 2 fishermen near the coast of Greece pulled in their fishing line and lifted an octopus onto their boat. Almost instantly, the creature changed its body color to match the boat's surface, showing how determined it was to hide. Just a few minutes later, the octopus discovered a small opening in the boat, and even though it seemed tiny, it managed to slip through and escape. On May 17, 2022, a group of tourists on a ferry cruise witnessed a shark-feeding frenzy on a whale carcass off the south coast of Western Australia. The sighting began when someone noticed a white shape floating in the distance. A crew member quickly realized it was a group of sharks feeding on a humpback whale and directed the ferry toward it. They were able to record the scene both from the surface and underwater. Moments like this are not only unforgettable for the witnesses, but also provide scientists with valuable insight into shark behavior and whale carcass events. On December 5, 2020, a massive whale shark washed up on Shangham Beach in Kerala, India, after becoming trapped in a large fishing net. When local residents rushed to help, they discovered that the shark was still alive. The rescuers first had to cut through the tangled net before returning the animal to the sea. After freeing it, they placed ropes beneath the whale shark to help guide it back into the water. The strong waves made it difficult for the creature to move from the shallow shore into deeper water, but after several attempts, it finally managed to swim away and disappear beneath the surface. Foreign fish on beach. On November 12, 2022, a 15-foot-long fish washed ashore on a beach along the coast of Isla Telcon in Chile's remote Torres Islands. The sight caused alarm among locals, as many believe that the appearance of a giant deep-sea oarfish signals an approaching natural disaster. This belief comes from Japanese folklore, which claims that these long, slender fish rise to the surface or beach themselves when they sense tremors or early signs of danger beneath the sea. However, scientists have dismissed this idea, explaining that there is no scientific proof linking oarfish sightings to natural calamities. On January 26, 2016, a couple visiting the beach were stunned to see hundreds of thousands of starfish scattered along the shore of a Florida beach. According to marine biologists, several factors can lead to such events, including strong sea storms, powerful wave currents, and changes in tidal patterns. These natural forces likely pushed the large number of starfish toward the coastline. Recorded earlier this year, this breathtaking scene shows a group of eager spectators gathered at a well-known surfing event in Hawaii. Without warning, a massive wave surged toward the shore and crashed into the crowd, sending people scattering like dry leaves in the wind. Many were swept up by the water, and some lost their personal items, but thankfully no one was hurt, and everyone made it out safely. On October 11, 2020, a giant whale carcass drifted onto Strandfontein Beach in Cape Town, South Africa. The animal was so massive that several heavy construction machines, including cranes, bulldozers, and trailer trucks, were brought in to remove it. City workers spent hours lifting the carcass with cranes, placing it onto a trailer, and using bulldozers to balance its weight. Since the whale was larger than the vehicle carrying it, some parts had to be cut apart to make transportation possible, all while a large crowd gathered to watch the unusual scene. Worm snatches fish. These worms are truly terrifying creatures that live and survive beneath the ocean floor. This video, recorded on January 14, 2017, reveals just how fierce these predators can be. They possess rock-hard grasping jaws, designed to snatch anything that moves above them. Known as sand strikers or bobbit worms, they have dark eyes and even a brain, yet they detect prey using their antennae and the shadows cast above. Their long bodies stay buried in the sand, with only their jaws exposed at the surface. Any sea creature that wanders too close to their hiding place almost never escapes. This was more than just a meal, as it brought together two of the most powerful predators in the ocean. On November 29, 2017, stunning drone footage captured a tiger shark and a saltwater crocodile feasting on the carcass of a dead humpback whale. After the whale washed up near Western Australia's Kimberley coast, both creatures were seen repeatedly biting at its fins, tail, and body. Since the carcass was far larger than either of them, they didn't seem bothered about sharing the meal, which could likely feed their groups for quite some time. You might have never seen or even heard of narwhals, which is why they are often called the unicorns of the sea. In September 2021, a Canadian hobbyist photographer and videographer filmed a group of narwhals swimming through the Arctic Ocean. These marine animals are similar to whales and use a sonar-like ability to locate and catch prey in the dark, icy waters of the Arctic. They have a long sword-like tusk extending from their head that helps them sense and hunt their food. Scientists continue to study these mysterious creatures to better understand their behavior. Moments like this remind us just how powerful a crocodile's jaws can be. While on vacation, a man recorded an astonishing scene on October 12, 2022, in Western Australia. A large, hungry saltwater crocodile suddenly appeared and seized a shark in its mouth as someone was trying to pull the shark from the water. After a short but intense struggle, the crocodile overpowered its rival and claimed the catch for itself. Which of these 30 moments did you find most unbelievable? Drop a comment below and let me know which moment shocked you the most, and why. Also, if you've ever witnessed something unbelievable at a beach, share your story in the comments. I read every single comment, and I love hearing about your experiences. Your story might even be featured in a future video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into unbelievable beach moments, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss future videos exploring the mysteries and wonders of our natural world. Hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted the moment new content drops. And if you found this video valuable, entertaining, or educational, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the video reach more people who share our fascination with the ocean and its incredible inhabitants. I've got more amazing content coming your way, including videos on deep-sea creatures, ocean mysteries, and more unbelievable moments from around the world. The ocean never stops surprising us, and I'll never stop bringing you the most fascinating stories from beneath the waves. Thank you so much for watching, for sticking with me through all 30 of these incredible moments, and for being part of this community of ocean enthusiasts. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and never stop exploring the wonders of our amazing planet. The ocean is waiting, full of secrets and surprises, and together, we'll keep discovering them.
Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.